to preview, of course, the next game and go way, way back over what on earth happened in the display against the Baggies. Welcome to Where Rangers Walk. I did not see this one coming. I'm guessing the four of you didn't either. Welcome back, Joed, Connor, Charlie, and Michael to Where Rangers Walk. I'm afraid we're going to ask you to relive it. You've probably had a couple of days to get it out your system, but I'm afraid for the next 5 minutes we are going to ask you to relive it all. Also on today's show, we're also going to talk about Sheffield United and our focus and ask you to rate some takes, of course, from the weekend's game. And we are starting to review our squads, starting with how strong our QPR goalkeeping section. So, Jawad, you were there. Sunny day, family with you, looking forward to a brand new season. Go 1-0 up. Everything's right with the world. And what happened from there? Take it away.
It's just really, really unlike a Marty team. I thought the intensity was poor. I thought West Brom got through us really easily in the first half, especially the pressing was non-existent at times. And yeah, just a really kind of lazy performance, I would say. And like I said, it's very unlike a Marty team because since he's come in, it's been the complete opposite. And yeah, even when we went a goal up, you never quite felt confident. Obviously, West Brom did play really well, deserve a lot of credit, well-coached team. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised actually at just how off it our team were.
Obviously, I've watched the goals. You've seen the whole thing, Connor. But the defending for the second and the third goal in particular, schoolboy, wasn't it? I mean, is that as bad as Dunn's played for QPR?
Probably, but then again, I don't think he's a right back. I think it was a short-term thing, in my opinion, and I think Marty's decided to keep him there. Hasn't worked out, and the same with Powell on the other side. All 3 goals from crosses, not strong enough, and even so, I think the centre backs as well. The marking in the box is poor. So things have, and it's a shame because we have been really good under Marty defensively, but the first game, it just didn't show that at all.
Were West Brom that good, or were you just that bad? I can't get a sense of it.
I would say a sense of both. I think you know what you're going to get with a West Brom team. They're a good team. And with us, I think the word I would describe us would be passive, just poor. Not much to shout about. But luckily, that's the first game. Rather that happen now than near Christmas time.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Michael, what was your view on what went wrong?
Well, I feel like it looked a bit from a creative standpoint that we don't have, obviously Chair's injured. I felt like Salah looked out the game. But going forward, I felt like we weren't creating enough chances. I felt like Parl and Dunn are told to go attacking, which left us sort of open at the back. I mean, Maja is a good striker in this level, and he got in all the right spaces. But it was just looking at our lineup in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to getting a few new signings in, to be honest. So, yeah.
We focused on the negatives there, Charlie, but was there any positives for you in terms of player performances? Anyone stand out that caught your eye?
Yeah, I would actually. I would say a few players. Ryan Colley, who I think that was his first league start, I think. He got it was a really good ball in for the first goal, and he's a young player, so that looks quite promising. I thought Jonathan Varane, when he came on, I thought he controlled the game quite well. He had a nice impact. But other than that, not really. I still think the main problem is lacking a number 9. And we just spent like 3 million on one, so that's quite depressing. It's unlikely that we're going to get another one in, so slightly concerning.
We just said last week, didn't we? If Salah gets up and running, then you'll be all right. But if he doesn't, then you might be hitting the buffers. Jared, I like Marty, as we've said before, and he's very refreshing in his interviews afterwards. He just called it as it was, wasn't he? Utterly disappointing. Did Did you see anything in pre-season which hinted at this? Because you talked about Tottenham and others that you've played all right in and defended well as a team, but was there a hint of this anywhere in pre-season?
I saw a couple of the matches. Spurs, we played at a higher intensity in that game, I would say, than we did on Saturday. Defensively, Spurs created quite a few chances against us, but you would expect that anyway. But I think looking at Marty's post-match interview, he looked quite shocked at the performance, I think, as well. And it's the most kind of spiky that I've seen him, I think, with QPR. And I think he kind of hinted at he's told the board what he wants, and maybe he's not got that yet. So I think we'll see at least three signings this week, I would say.
Okay. Of those 3 signings, Connor, what's the biggest priority that we need coming in the next 7 days?
It's got to be 2 wingers. That's it. And we're going to get those. It's just a matter of bedding them in ASAP.
Okay. We'll talk about goalkeepers in a second, and obviously we'll review other key areas on the pitch in a second. But Michael, you're off to Bramall Lane, your first away game of the season after the Carabao Cup, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's not been an easy start for you, has it, in terms of fixtures? Did you catch Preston? What have you made of them?
Sorry, you cut out there for a minute.
Oh, Sheffield United. Have you caught any of their game? What have you made of them?
You know what you're getting when you go to Bramall Lane. I mean, they have good support. I feel like that will help. Obviously, they've got a few loan players in, a couple of signings, and I feel like if we just go there and we maybe play with like a more intensity, I think we could nick something out of the game, to be honest.
Okay. I've got some takes on the game that I want you to have a look at for me in our regular special on this show, Rate My Take. They're not pleasant reading, but we'll do them anyway. Charlie, I'll start with you with Rob's point there. A very, very worrying display indeed. Field and Colback were non-existent. No mobility to press. Both atrocious on the ball. Nothing up front. One of Dunn's worst displays for QPR. Powell needs to leave the club. Thank God wingers are coming in. Smith, nope, no chance, poor. Unpack all that if you can for us, Charlie. Anything in there you disagree with?
I hate to say I think it's fairly accurate. I mean, I think I do agree that I think Powell should leave. I mean, I think if we get the 2 million that I think it was rumoured that Watford were offering, I would have taken that. But I am excited to see. I think it was the new wingers coming in. I think Karamoko Dembele was the bigger name, and we were rumoured to get him for around 3 million. Yeah, he was. I think he had like 9 goals and 15 assists for Blackpool on loan last season. So that's quite exciting, and he's still quite young. And yeah, Smith. The problem with Smith is that he just he does well. He gets past his man, but his end product is just so bad, and that's why it's so frustrating. Because you feel like there's something there, but he just really lacks that quality in the final third.
Cheers, Charlie. James Elwood said a comment which I think most of Twitter was saying it after on Saturday. We really need Chair back. This side looked so disorganised in the middle of the park. We just rushed ourselves whenever we had an attacking opportunity. Chair's great, isn't it? Because he holds the ball up well for you, or certainly has done under Marty, and just gives the time for the midfield runners to move up the park. I mean, he's a physical presence and a nuisance as well. So, is it fair to say that we'll see a better QPR when we see Chair?
Yeah, he's the most important player. He can pass the ball, he can run with the ball, he can hold it up, he's strong on the ball, he wins free kicks. I would also agree with the centre midfield as well, the first comment, and James's one as well, and the fact that I think Isaac Hayden last season was so important to that team, and we played better when he was alongside Field or Colback. When Field and Colback played together, I've never been a huge fan. And Varane, when he came on, looked like he's going to be that player that will be the main one in there. And then I think Field and Colback are competing for one position, I think.
Okay. And Daniel's comment, Connor, I want to, you've commented on most of it, but that first bit there, not a terrible performance at all. Can you agree with that? It wasn't as bad as most of social media is making out. Being too overreactive.
Yeah, I don't think it was that poor. It was frustrating. But we all know we need to get those players in the door, and once we do, we'll be a better team.
Let's fingers crossed. In 7 days' time, we are sat here talking about 3 points at Bramall Lane and also a couple of wingers for you. We're going to start by going through your squad over the next couple of weeks. We'll start with goalkeepers, if that's okay. Michael, I'll come to you if that's all right. Where are QPR in this division? Now, some teams are incredibly strong and with their first choice and second choices, and there are others which are, in need of strengthening. Are you happy with where you're at with goalkeepers?
I mean, I think obviously we've seen very little of Paul Nardi, but I like what I saw in pre-season. His distribution already is better than what Begovic's was, and in the system that we play, I know that he'll be good getting the ball out of his feet, passing it down the wings, and that side of the game I think he's pretty strong on. He played well against Spurs and he played well against Brighton in pre-season as well. Obviously the goals, it was poor defending ultimately, and the goalkeeper are only going to be as good as his defence, so I'm quite happy with him so far.
Okay. What about your backup options, Charlie? Are you okay with that? Should Nardi get injured?
Well, I have to say I don't think I've ever seen Matteo Solomon play. He's just a sort of development player. But Joe Walsh, I think Joe Walsh is a pretty capable backup. He started the last game against Coventry last year, and I thought he was probably one of the man of the matches that game. He put in a really solid performance. So yeah, I'm quite confident in Joe Walsh as a backup.
Okay, good stuff. All right, then let's get some predictions then for the next game. Before we do, the Carabao Cup is back this week. Anyone going to Cambridge, or you're all saving your money? Oh, you're off to Cambridge. All right.
Okay. And I'll say this now quickly because I know this will air after. Dembele is going to be in the squad tomorrow, so okay. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Okay. We've not won a cup game since January 2022. We've not won in normal time for 3 years, and we haven't won an away tie in normal time in 9 years. Just putting those stats out there for the cup. So
I'm going to throw my ticket away now.
If you're watching this before the game, put all your money on Cambridge to win because, yeah, it's a shoe-in, I'm sure. Absolutely sure we're going to lose.
What's fascinated me as a neutral is other teams and where they're placing the Carabao Cup. I'm not sure QPR have aspirations for promotion this season, so maybe I'll ask you guys if I was to give you the cup now, you can win it, yeah, at Wembley against whoever you want, or be promoted. I know it's hypothetical, but I'm trying to gauge how important the Carabao Cup is for teams. Michael, what would you take?
Oh, I mean, as much as I'd love us to go up, I do feel like a nice cup run would do the squad and the club a world of good. And going into next season, then we can get promoted. So I'd probably take winning the cup.
Yeah. That is music to my ears. Everybody else has said no, promotion. Charlie?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Michael. I mean, winning the Carabao Cup was that was the most important day in the club's history, and that was back in I think 66, I think it was 67. So yeah, I just take the cup, and you get European football. That's quite cool.
Yeah. Sombrero goes on tour, Gerard.
Yeah.
Okay. Good luck against Cambridge. I will. I might look at that fixture as Yeah, as a nice home
Home banker.
home in my accumulator tomorrow night. Okay. All right. Score predictions for trip to Bramall Lane. Joe, you can go first.
It's a great away game. It's one of the best grounds I think in the league. Atmosphere is always great. I think it being their first home game, I think with the new signings they have, I think it's probably the hardest game that we could have at the weekend. I think we'll do well to get anything there. I'm going to go a 2-0 defeat, unfortunately.
Connor?
2-1 Sheffield United.
Michael?
2-0, I'd say.
Okay. Go on, Charlie. Let's see if there's any positivity here.
Well, I was going to say Sheffield United were horrible at home last season, so I feel like if we take the game to them, if we score an early goal, the fans could really start to turn on the players, and the toxicity could set in. So I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna say 2-0 to QPR. I'm usually pessimistic, but I've just got a feeling.
All right.
Got
Up the youth. Up the youth. Good stuff. Well done, Charlie. Right. Enjoy your trip to Cambridge, Connor. You four of you enjoy your trip to Sheffield. We'll see you back here next week where we'll talk all things central defenders. That'll have a more interesting debate, won't it, on here? Who the best pairs of central defenders for QPR this season. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. We love making this content. We'll be here all throughout every weekend of the championship season with all these four and special guests as well. Thank you very much for joining us on Where Rangers Walk, and drop us a comment as well. What's the score going to be against Sheffield United? Cheers, everyone, and we'll catch you next week.